The rivalry reached the national stage, and tensions between the coaches spiraled from Midwestern machismo to Cold War paranoia.
He stopped practice and he said, "Men, you see those two guys? Those are police. I hired them. Bo was trying to watch our practices."
Never forget the year that Bo brought the police in and went to one of the apartments across the way and found a guy shooting a video camera over the top of the wall at their practice and thought he was a spy from Ohio State.
Are the elements of my strategy all safe? How's the field going to be cut? Who's it going to favor?
Woody was convinced one year that Michigan had a new shoe specifically made so that if the field were slippery, Michigan would have better grip. And Woody tried like crazy to find out so he could order some. And there was no secret shoe.
The week we were playing Michigan at Michigan, my senior year, we were having our pregame meal. The ladies that were serving us were all nice-looking ladies. I mean, nice-looking ladies, college students.
And all of a sudden, we heard that clang. He hit the wine glass with a fork, and he starts screaming, "I want all of these waitresses out of here. I want the cooks to serve my men." And we're looking around, and what?
And then he stood up and said, Bo planted them there to distract us.
Yeah, Bo infiltrated our lunchroom. He goes, "We'll have none of that."
Their ongoing feud further provoked fan partisanship between the states. A fanaticism reinforced to this day by the colliding cultures of each side.
This is not just a rivalry between two football teams. This is a rivalry between two ways of life. This is scarlet red versus maize and blue. This is a battle between goodness and evil.
Michigan represents the good. You are a Michigan man. You stand for something excellent. You stand for tradition, respect, integrity.
When you talk about a Michigan fan, you are talking about Satan incarnate. Makes me sick even to say the name of their state.
We're very proud of the Wolverine, and we know that the Ohio State people have the Buckeye, and we also know that the Buckeye is a hairless nut.
Have you been to Michigan? The entire state smells like hot dog water. It's horrifying.
We don't pay a lot of attention to the fans from Ohio State, as far as I remember.
We like to think we're a little higher educated. They call us the arrogant asses as a result. AA is for arrogant asses, not Ann Arbor. We consider them just slightly redneckish.
Go Bucks!
University of Michigan always has been a hell of a school. It's a first-rate academic school. Face it, Michigan was superior to Ohio State and remains superior.
We had a Michigan guy flunk out of Michigan, and then he enrolled at Ohio State. And he raised a class standing at both universities when he did that.
I'm a Michigan graduate. You're an Ohio State graduate. You're lucky you're not flipping burgers someplace.
You ain't nothing but a bunch of pretend wannabe crybaby suckasses.
We look down our noses at Ohio State.
You know why their noses are in the air? Because we have kicked their asses so far up into the air, they can't get their damn noses back down straight again. Fuck Michigan, excuse me.
Michigan has a great spirited fan base, and Ohio State has a great spirited fan base with violent, lunatic, sociopathic fringe attached to it.
They're not embarrassed by anything. They're loud, obnoxious.
The city of Columbus on the campus of the Ohio State University. People here are required by law to do that thing that they just did, and also apparently to own 5 red hooded sweatshirts each.
Michigan. We're from Ohio.
Look, since when is being passionate about something bad? Ohio State fans can seem like they're a little crazy on the outside. But for better or worse, this is who we are. This is what we get behind. We get behind our Buckeyes, and this whole town lives and breathes and dies Ohio State football.
From the time I was 6 years old, I only missed one Ohio State football game until I was 20.
That's all there was in Columbus. We didn't have Broadway plays, we didn't have opera, we didn't have great museums. This is what we had. When I was a kid, there were 8 radio stations in Columbus. And on Saturday afternoons, all 8 stations carried the Ohio State game.
I don't know one kid from my high school that doesn't have a baby picture with Buckeye stuff.
The way the kids are raised, it's not a basketball state, it's not a soccer state, it's a football state.
You have to understand that in Columbus, Ohio, football is a secular religion. This is the evangelism of this part of the heartland. Singular in its focus. In the manner that if you take a magnifying glass and hold it over an ant in the sun, it's everything.
I love Ohio State football. I'm a fan. I wouldn't say that I'm like a crazy psycho fan. I'm able to step back and realize that, hey, excuse me, it's, I believe it's Coach Tressel calling. Yes, Coach.
I don't know how many sets of ashes have been scattered somewhere near that field. It's a lot of people's wishes. It's a lot of people's dreams. There's an O on that ball cap that they want placed in their casket next to them. You could talk to people in the autumn here who want to live just long enough to see Ohio State kick the hell out of Michigan one more time. I could never figure out where this bile came from.
I hate Michigan, I hate Michigan, I hate Michigan. Fuck the Wolverines. I hate Michigan, I hate Michigan, I hate Michigan. Fuck the Wolverines.
Michigan and Ohio have been at each other's throats since people were writing down history on this continent.
Wolverine lost to Buckeye, and there was many a black eye to attest to the upset. The game is over, but the mayhem lingers on.
Animosity in the region existed long before there was a football field to settle the score. In fact, it dates back to 1835, after Michigan had petitioned for statehood and discovered that through a land survey error, part of its territory, the Toledo Strip, had been claimed by the state of Ohio. Michigan and Ohio militias engaged in an angry though bloodless border dispute that ended with Toledo remaining a part of Ohio. Nearly 2 centuries later, border towns like Perrysburg, Ohio are the disputed territories, with football allegiance now up for grabs. The Michigan-Ohio border serves as a 70-mile-long line of scrimmage that creates a too-close-for-comfort coexistence between rival fan factions. Be it in the classroom or at the local trading post, where a young Wolverine can be outfitted in maize and blue, and a Buckeye nut can buy a Buckeye nut.